Welcome to Rathalos Watch. This is the 5th episode of Should X Monster Return to Monster Hunter Wilds. In this episode, I will be discussing Nibelsnarf, a monster that dwells in the sands, sort of like a sand shark, ambushing its prey by suddenly emerging and devouring them with its massive gaping mouth. As always, we'll delve into the monster in greater detail, covering its first appearance, overall reception, memorable aspects, visual design, combat style, and ultimately, whether it should return to Monster Hunter Wild. We'll explore how Capcom could potentially bring back the monster, what they should or shouldn't change, what new interactions they could implement, and how the monster could fit into the next generation of Monster Hunter in terms of mechanics and design philosophies. Without further ado, let's begin. Nibelsnarf is classified as a Leviathan monster that stalks the sands and the dunes of desert biomes in the universe of Monster Hunter. He was originally introduced in Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, which was a Japan-only release back on December 1st, 2010. The USA version of Monster Hunter Tri that released for the Wii on April 20th did not include Nibelsnarf and is actually a different game from the Monster Hunter Portable 3rd. It wasn't until March 2013 when Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate was released in the USA that fans were able to experience and hunt down Nibelsnarf alongside many other new monsters. Nibelsnarf then appeared in the 4th generation Monster Hunter Generations and Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, but hasn't been seen since then. With that release date history out of the way, it's time we discuss Nibelsnarf. Nibelsnarf is able to navigate through the sands like a fish that swims flawlessly in the water. This Leviathan can range from the smallest gold crown size of 1,808.10 centimeters to the biggest gold crown size of 4,693.13 centimeters. Hunters can encounter Nibelsnarf for the very first time in a 5-star village quest called the Desert Gourmand in the Sandy Plains biome. I'll be brutally honest, I really despise this monster. Despite its uniqueness compared to other sand-dwelling creatures, it's an annoying fight, far too tanky and takes way too long to kill. In my opinion, every time I face one of these sand-burrowing creatures, I get flashbacks to the frustrating battles with cephadromes, where the only way to get them out of the sand is by using a sonic bomb. It's just obnoxious and annoying. I want to fight, not play silly hide-and-seek games when I'm hunting monsters. The only redeeming qualities are its somewhat interesting visual design and a few unique abilities. It's weak to both ice and thunder elements. Nibelsnarf shares some surface similarities with Gobel. It might be closely related. Like pea-skinned viverins, it can swim through sand. Its body structure resembles a salamander, featuring a brightly colored underbelly and a shark-like head filled with sharp teeth. The flat body is also similar to that of a ray. Nibelsnarf is known to prey on Rathalos and Apicross. Using its powerful jaws to crush their shells, it has a vulnerable weak spots inside its mouth the hunters can target. Its attacks including spewing sand, charging, and leaping bite. Nibelsnarf is also able to execute an ability called Wind Tunnel, where he opens his mouth and expels a ton of sand of debris towards his prey. If caught in the attack, the hunter may get water blight, which can start to deplete your stamina if not taken care of in a timely manner by consuming an oldberry. If you are behind him, sometimes he will also expel a large sand cloud from the gills on the back of his head, which can cause a lot of damage and a knockback, so do not get too greedy. He can also hide in the sand and disguise himself as a sand dune, so if you see a sand dune, give it a hit and see what happens, because you can actually get some extra damage on him before the fight even starts. One of the most distinctive aspects of this monster is that the hunters can make it swallow bombs while it's submerged and moving through the sand. By placing a bomb in its path, the creature will ingest it, leading to an internal explosion that causes significant damage and a stagger. During the stagger, you have the chance to fish it out, and if successful, you'll gain an even larger window to inflict more damage. Fishing also becomes an option when the Nibelsnarf is startled by a sonic bomb or any loud noise, leaving its mouth wide open and facing upwards. However, be cautious. If you fail the fishing minigame, it will retaliate with a spin attack. Another interesting aspect is that he is one of the very few large monsters whose tail cannot be broken or chopped off. Pitfall traps also do not work on him either. When he is out of stamina, he will try to hunt down Rathalos and eat them to recover the stamina. As for the rest of his attacks, all he does really is just trying to bite you every chance he gets. When he is enraged, he will try to charge you multiple times back to back with his mouth wide open, trying to eat you, which is really easy to avoid. Just roll to a side of your choosing and be prepared to run. Nibelsnarf has no variants or any sort of subspecies, which is unfortunate. I think some sort of an ice-themed Nibelsnarf would have been an interesting take, but then again, maybe him only being available in the desert is what makes him truly unique to that particular type of environment. That sums up Nibelsnarf in a nutshell. Now, should Nibelsnarf return to Monster Hunter Wilds? Personally, I hope he doesn't make a comeback. I find him obnoxious and annoying to deal with. However, with the introduction of the desert biome in Monster Hunter Wilds, known as the Windward Plains, we already seen sand-burrowing monsters like Balahara. Capcom's updated tech has clearly elevated monsters like Balahara, and could potentially do the same for Diablos. I can clearly see the benefits for Nibelsnarf, especially with the improved sand tech alone. While I'm unsure if he would be a monster that travels in a pack, the possibilities are intriguing. Implementing Nibelsnarf in Wilds would be relatively straightforward, and Capcom could make him much more interesting. With the emphasis on a living, dynamic ecosystem, they could design him to randomly hunt prey by traveling through the sand and emerging right beneath them to consume them, a sight that would surely be impressive. We've previously discussed the potential return of Kuropeko. Now imagine if he could summon a Nibelsnarf. You'd have to contend with a lurking threat beneath the sand as well. well. There are plenty of exciting opportunities for this monster. Don't forget that Nibelsnarf can also disguise itself as a sand dune, and I believe this could be taken to the next level in Monster Hunter Wilds, where it could become even harder to distinguish between a Nibelsnarf and an actual sand dune, thanks to the upgraded graphics and visual fidelity. While I don't like Nibelsnarf enough to want him to return, I believe the chances of his comeback are quite high, simply because he would fit really well into the Windward Plains and the overall aesthetic of Monster Hunter Wilds. He has also been missing for quite a long time as well. If he does return and there are hunters who miss him and want him back, then I'll be happy for them. It's also worth noting that Nibelsnarf was voted as a top 129th monster for Hunter's Choice during the 20th anniversary of the franchise. There are plenty of people who adore this monster, but I don't think it's enough. Regardless of my personal opinion on Nibelsnarf, I believe that Capcom can find him a good home in Monster Hunter Wilds and possibly make him more enjoyable for me to slay. But if I'm being brutally honest, I'd rather have a different previously existing monster or a brand new monster completely that will take his roster slot. With that being said, let me know what you fellow hunters think about this, and if you want Nibelsnarf to return or not, and why you want him to return or not. If you do want him to come back, how do you think Capcom can make him better, and what changes would you like to see? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe with notifications turned on. Peace out and happy hunting.